is haul time. That's right. I have some coloring supplies to share with you. Let's get into this video. Let's go. In my last haul video, I told you that that was the final one for the year, but that was the final one for coloring books. I didn't mention anything about coloring supplies. So today we have some coloring supplies we're going to get up into. The first item I have is a planner. Yeah, I have my main planners, but this one caught my attention. Key Lime Ink talked about this, and it is somewhat of a knockoff to the Hobonichi. So I decided to give it a try, and I plan to use this for memory keeping. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to use it for memory keeping or not, but you know, who knows what I'll use it for, but it will get used. This is a planner from SUNY. And it is very similar to a Hobonichi. So here you have your calendars, 2026, 25, 2027. You have your annual overview of the months here. You have an area to write down key things that you want to remember to do. And then we have our monthlies. And it's somewhat set up like a Hobonichi. I forgot to mention this is hardcover. The only thing that I am a little bit upset about, but it's not a big thing, is this dent here. This did not come in a box. It came in plastic, wrapped in plastic. So it didn't have its own individual box. Okay, so we have our monthlies here. The paper feels very nice. And then we go into our dailies. Very similar to the Hobonichi. Okay. So that's that. The colors don't bother me because they are not so bright or anything. They're muted. And I'm okay with that. The paper is quite nice. Now this cost about, I think it goes for $30-something, but it was on Black Friday sale on Amazon for about $24 and some change. And I have done a pen test to see what pens I can use. And what I noticed is that the only fountain pen that I have that kind of bled through, you see that there? And you also see it here. That is my Lamy AL star, aluminum star. It bled through, but my other one, Twisby, and my Kukuno did not bleed through. Okay, so it just gave a little ghosting. So I can use my fountain pens. I just can't use my Lamy AL star. Okay, so this is another planner that I purchased and I will use it for something. Okay, moving on to the next item. The next item I have is Koh-i-Noor Magic Pencils. 23 multicolored pencils plus 1 blender pencil. Let's take a look at the back of the tin before I open it up to show you. It says here in English, a set of colored pencils, magic. And here are the swatches of each of the pencils. Let's take a look inside. Upon opening, I noticed this. Yes, this is the quality control or quality guaranteed little thing in here. It says pencil since 1790. Okay. And also in here is more information about the magic pencils and more swatches. This one right here is the blender pencil. And we have more swatches and the actual names of each of the pencil colors. And it tells us information more about the pencils and how to use them as well. Okay. You can pause that to read it if you like, and I will freeze frame it for you so you can see it. Okay, so here is a pencil. These are I would say trigonal, trigonal, like three, more of a triangular shape. But here is the pencil core. It has 3 different shades of color inside, kind of like the tritone pencils. And also, I have a pencil sharpener that these pencils fit in, and I do plan to do a pencil sharpener video so I can show you all of the pencil sharpeners that I use. But yeah, isn't that pretty? All right, so these are the Koh-i-Noor Magic pencils. I finally have more than 5 magic pencils, and I am so happy about it. Up next, I have some smaller sets of Prismacolor Premier that I purchased. One of the things that you should know is that I also got in on the Black Friday sale for the full set of Prismacolor. You'll see that. But for the most part, what I'm showing you now are pencils that I purchased before the Black Friday sale. Okay, just so you know. As you also know, I'm starting to really like Prismacolors. At first, I wasn't feeling Prismacolors, but the more I use them and the more I learn how to use them, I'm starting to really, really love the pencils, okay? Hence what you see today, okay? So first I have the 24 set of the portrait set. And I bought this because I was watching a lady demonstrate how to do skin, which is something I'm trying to learn. And let me get this glare off of you. Something I'm trying to learn. And so she recommended the portrait set from Prismacolor, and I eventually bought these, but I didn't buy them during the Black Friday sale. I bought these in the earlier part of November. Probably, yeah, within the first 2 weeks of November. And so she's recommending these portrait pencils, and so I said, hey, I need to get these because I'm trying to learn how to color skin. So let's see what's in here. First off, they have this little guide in here on how to color skin, which is always helpful, right? So we have a complete step-by-step guide for creating portraits using Prismacolor Premier colored pencils. And we have each step and they tell us what to do, okay? That is cool. We have 2 sets of or 2 trays of pencils, with this one being, I would assume, for light skin tones. And the second tray is for dark skin tones. This was what I initially wanted, but I ended up getting more sets of Prismacolor Premier. Here are the colors that are inside of this set here. I don't know if you can see the numbers, but here they are. 24 soft core pencils. I need to put this back in here because I need to follow the guide. The next set that I bought is the highlighting and shading set. And this is it here. 24 pencils in this one, and we have our colors here. Up top looks like the lighter shades for highlighting, and then the darker shades for shading. Let me show you what's in here. We have these colors here. And in the second tray, this is for highlighting. And then the second tray, this is for shading, the darker shades here. Okay. I bought these and then I said, oh, I see some more. Let me get some more. I do like underwater scenes as far as coloring them, so I decided to get the 12 count of the Under the Sea set. And you can see the colors here. Well, the color numbers. Now I'll show you what's inside. I only have 12. I have used them a little bit for an underwater scene test on a page that I was trying to see how the pencils worked on them on that page. And so these are the colors here. Notice that we have aquas, we have the blues, and we have some greens, little oranges. Well, that's poppy red, I believe. Yellows, yeah. So that's it there. 12 pencils. And the last one that I have, I do like botanicals. So this is the botanical garden set. And this one also has 12. And we have the colors here. And here they are. We have our greens, blues, little purple lilac. I think this is not lilac. This is, let me see, orchid. And then we have some little lighter orange, reds, pinks, yellows. Okay. So that is the botanical garden set. Up next is Prismacolor Premier full set. I got these during the Black Friday sale for $109. The last time I purchased a full set of Prismacolor Premier colored pencils was in 2023. Lately, I've been using Prismacolor a lot. So much so that I decided I needed to get a full set because I have fallen in love with these pencils. I like them now. At first, I didn't like them. And I think the main reason I did not like them is because I did not know how to use them. I know how to use them now. And it is on and popping because I've been using them a lot. Anyway, here is a peek inside. We have 6 of these trays. 1, 2, 3. And then there are 3 trays on this side, which makes a total of 6. Okay. So that is it for Prismacolor colored pencils. Here is the color chart here of what's in here. And that is it. These will be waiting in the wing for me. The next item I have is the Prismacolor Premier Art Markers. I have been searching, trying to decide which brand of markers I would purchase. And I settled on these. So let's take a look inside. Before I do that, let me tell you how much they cost. They cost $179. But don't skip on looking at the used section on Amazon, okay? So I looked at the used portion and it said like new. Whenever something says like new, I'm probably gonna get it. Just like I got my little watch here for much less than I would have purchased it or got it if I bought it new, okay? So yeah, this was I got this for a good steal. But anyway, that's what I do. I look at the used area, and that's what I did for these markers. And they were like almost like $25 less, okay? Around $150 plus, $150-ish. So here are the markers. I'm going to open them up to show you a bit, but I also want to show you my swatch chart and also some things that I've colored with these markers. So here we go. Sorry about that. What you need to know here is that they are on little trays here, okay? And they're stackable. The only thing that I saw wrong with a few markers is that they had leaked. It was one that had leaked, and you can kind of tell. I'll show you which one that is. I think it's this one here. Yeah, you can see where it leaked out at. And so I think it also leaked onto this one. And that was the only issue I had when I went through these markers to do an inspection, because since I bought them used, like new, I felt like something might be wrong with these. So I better go ahead and check them out as soon as I get them because I may have to return them. But I didn't see anything that alarmed me to the point where I need to return them. So I'm a happy camper with these. Yes. So yeah, I will keep them inside of this little box for now. As far as storage, I do like them a lot. So I'm glad I bought them. Yeah. So I'm up here talking to you about these, and I haven't told you the number of markers. 72. The one thing you also need to know is that there are two metallic markers in here. You have a fine marker and a broad tip marker. Those are not open. They were still they're wrapped in plastic. So I didn't open them to do any swatching on those. Okay, so here are the Prismacolor Premier art markers. These are alcohol markers, by the way. So just take a look at the colors. I did color something with these, and I'll show that to you. And as you can see, there is the metallic gold. I did not swatch that. Like I said, it was already wrapped up in plastic and I didn't want to open it. So that's it. No dried out markers. Because if I had gotten some dried out markers, I would have definitely returned them with the quickness. Okay, so that's that for the swatch. And here is something that I've colored with the markers. This is the test page for the Bobby Goods coloring book. And here we go. I'm not all that good at coloring with markers, but I think this turned out pretty nicely. What I like about these markers is that they are smooth, and you'll see what I'm talking about when I show you the next page that I've colored. The next one that I have is in here. I was blown away with how smooth the ink is. I messed up here. That's the user error right there. But for the most part, I was pleased with how they worked on my page. Yeah. So that is it for the Prismacolor art markers. These items I purchased from Michael's. So let's take a look inside. Okay, I have some art crayons. What I've learned about Faber-Castell and the Gelatos, they have rebranded how they look. They've changed the name. Unfortunately, with the art crayons that I have, the name Gelato is still on the packaging, but this is it here. Okay. So first off, I purchased 3 of these. They were on sale. They originally are, I think, $25 for 12. That's steep, isn't it? But Michael's was having a sale. And when I bought 3 of these, the markers were, I think, these are not markers. The art crayons were, I think, $18 a piece. And then when I got 3, and I ordered 3, I got an additional 15% off, I believe, which made these go down to $15 a piece. Okay, so I didn't pay $25 for these. That's how much they originally cost. These are the Faber-Castell Art Crayons, formerly known as Gelatos. Okay, and with this one, this is the iridescent one. Now I do have iridescents, but what I noticed is that they have iridescent part 1 and iridescent part 2. These are the iridescent part 2. And what I noticed is these have gem-like colors. It has jade, topaz, yeah, quartz. The other iridescents that I have, they're more for like space type of stuff. It has that type of name to the colors. So check it out. I'm going to show you what's inside. I'm not going to swatch or anything because I plan to do a separate video on that. These are the the iridescent ones, as I said. And this is how they look. They still look like the Gelatos. Even the name on here is still Gelatos. So what I am assuming is that they're trying to get all of their Gelatos that they have, get them out. And once they have them all put out, they will start printing the labels to say art crayons, because the boxes actually say art crayons here. So this is the iridescent 2. We have the hard sponge and the soft sponge and the little brush that comes in here. The next color that I have is this one here. This is the pastel Gelatos or art crayons. That's how it's supposed to look. But mine still has Gelatos on it. The box says art crayons. Colors on the back here. They have a little bit of a swatch going on. And I will show you how they look. They're just the same as Gelatos. I don't think the formula has changed or anything for that matter. But they still have Gelatos on here. They're just making that transition. And then it has pastels, making the transition over to art crayons. Again, the little sponges and the brush. And the third one that I have that I purchased where I got the additional discount is the brights. These colors are bright. I got these because I really do like them. The art crayons, or formerly known as the Gelatos, because I am getting more into journaling and then coloring in my doing the Bible journaling and stuff like that. So I wanted to use some of these. So as you can see, we have the brights, metallics, and we have the colors on the back, the swatches here. And then I noticed that they had metallics. So me being who I am, liking these products, I decided to go back and get metallics. Now these cost $18. Even though they are 24, like 25, they still were on sale, but I didn't get the additional discount because I didn't get 3 of them. I just got 1. But metallics, and we have the colors on the back, the swatches here. And this is how they look. Again, your sponges and your brush there. And that is it for my art crayons that I bought from Michael's. And I also picked up these pencils. These are Faber-Castell gold fiber colored pencils. I have 12 of them, and these are the skin tones set. You can see the colors here. They have the colors here at the bottom, but they also have the colors here at the top. And that is it for my coloring haul supply. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. Until next time, keep calm and keep coloring. Bye.